got a new journalist in the room today. That's great. What's the new journalist's name? Kate. Welcome, Kate. Yeah, see? Well, good morning, everybody. So glad to have you here today. This weekend marked 6 months since President Donald Trump returned to the Oval Office, and boy, has it been historic. Together, we have secured the border, restored peace through strength, squashed inflation, supercharged our economy, and delivered on the one big, beautiful bill. America is safe, prosperous, and great again. But Democrats continue their dangerous rhetoric. That is endangering law enforcement agents. I mean, an officer gets shot by an illegal alien in New York. Do you think that's a coincidence? Because I don't. It's their policies, it's their rhetoric. You know, my question is, did their policies lead to this rhetoric and all this rhetoric lead to this attack? Ask yourself that. I'll let you be the judge of that. Do you think their policies and their rhetoric hurt law enforcement agents or help them? Just ponder on that for a minute. This week, House Republicans will return home for our annual work period. And during this work period, we are going to work with our members to take our message coast to coast, and we're going to make sure that we have the Democrats own their message, because we all know they like to weasel out of their message. And we're going to take our message from Long Island to the suburbs of Los Angeles. The American people will hear how the one big beautiful bill will benefit them. We are going to correct the truth with the other half of the truth, because all Democrats have right now is fear-mongering. They have no plan, no vision, and no leader. I'm planning to be in my district this week to speak with Michiganders, but I'm also going to be traveling with some of our frontline members from Pennsylvania to New Jersey. We will visit actual manufacturing facilities where the workers, the American taxpayer, will benefit from the one big beautiful bill, and we'll be having conversations with that. I'm sure along the way we're going to stop at a few restaurants, maybe get some takeout, where their staff or delivery drivers will enjoy the benefits of no tax on tips. The bottom line is this: the impact of the one big beautiful bill will be felt positively everywhere, and working families, their bottom lines will be increased. Imagine how Democrat district visits are going to go. That's if they stay in their own districts. But remind the Democrats voted against securing the border. Remember that? They said, Biden said, we can't do that. No, we just needed a president who actually could do that. So remind the Democrats that it's the Republicans who are actually unleashing American energy. You know, putting money back into our economy, making us energy independent again, expanding the child tax credit. And I hear all that fear-mongering about, oh, the rural hospitals are going to shut down. We actually created a rural hospital fund that can actually, the monies go to these hospitals. They don't have all this bureaucracy in between. Wow. That's a solution for a change, but you won't hear the Democrats talk about that. Generational investments. We made generational investments in our national security. No tax on overtime, no tax on tips. Every single Democrat voted to kill millions of jobs. Give federal benefits to those who never should receive those benefits before. Remember, the Democrats are making sure that Medicaid is not there for the people who need it most by allowing the waste, the fraud, the abuse to actually continue and to give it to illegals over Americans who need it more than anything. And take those $1,000 of paychecks from hardworking Americans. Remember, they voted to increase every single working family's tax rate. I'm so sick and tired of hearing, oh my gosh, it's a tax rate for the rich. No, it's not. Think about this. This is a fact, and I'm curious if you've asked any of the Democrats this. They voted to raise a taxpayer's income who makes $48,000, which would be in the 12% tax bracket. They voted to raise the tax bracket from 12% to 25% on 40, if you make $48,000. I don't know, any of you think $48,000, is that a tax break for the rich? A tax incentive for the rich? No, you're taking money from working class families. Make the Democrats own. Ask them why they voted for the biggest tax increase in history. Ask them why. I don't think these meetings are going to go very well. Now, I hope the Democrats are home and the local press will hold them accountable, and to explain why they voted to kill American jobs, especially when they're already somebody who voted no, but notice every Democrat takes the dough. It's ridiculous, and we will continue to bring these fallacies to life. We will continue to correct the truth with the other half of the truth, and the fear-mongering from the Democrats has got to stop. Now, to talk about this and the importance of the One Big Beautiful Bill for people in her district with me is Congresswoman Jen Kiggans. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for including me this morning in your press conference. I'm Congresswoman Jen Kiggans, and I proudly represent Virginia's 2nd District, which is home to a large percent of veteran population. In the country, we have about 6% of our population who has served in our great military. And in my district, we have more than twice that, about 13%. So I'm here today to talk about the veteran perspective and the wins for the veteran community in the One Big Beautiful Bill. I am a veteran. I served as a Navy helicopter pilot for 10 years of my life. I am married to an F-18 pilot who served for 20 years. And I'm also very proudly a Navy mom to a future naval aviator. So the people in my district, we are regular, everyday Americans. We just put service to country first. And not only if you are a veteran, but if you work with the veteran community and the defense community in my district, the wins in the One Big Beautiful Bill are important to us. We are hardworking, we are business owners, we are small business owners, we are parents, we are moms and dads, we are people who care about community safety. So the wins in this One Big Beautiful Bill from the economy side, the extension of the tax breaks, the no tax on tips and overtime, the wins that we know our veterans will feel more in their bank accounts. We're used to living on fixed income like we did in the military. We know that each and every penny counts and how hard we have to work to earn our money. We want to keep more of our paychecks. We want our veterans and all Americans to feel like they have more in their pocketbooks. So those are the biggest wins for the veteran community. The border security piece is important because we care about community safety, and we know that every state is a border state, even Virginia. So we care about the people that are around our neighborhoods, that are around our kids' schools, that are watching our families. That community safety piece is important, and knowing that we have a secure border, knowing that we're not letting people from the terrorist watch list, that as veterans we have concerns about who is in our country, who is here to do us harm. But I think most importantly, the biggest wins for a lot of us in the veteran community was that $150 billion Defense Plus up. So many of us joined and signed up to serve again in our great military for our great country because of the chaotic withdrawal in Afghanistan. We saw weakness on the world stage. We saw what it looks like when our country doesn't prioritize peace through strength. The world is a very dangerous place, and now as a military mom, really, I care about that issue, and so many people in my district, so many of our children are serving, so many of my neighbors and friends. So for me, that peace through strength piece is the most important piece. And we're seeing Republicans put our money where our mouth is and prioritize quality of life, quality of service initiatives for our military. We're seeing next generation strike fighter funding. We're seeing money for 16 more ships being built. There's $9 billion for quality of life, $29 billion for shipbuilding, $16 billion for shipyards and depot, which we know are in need of repair, $9 billion for air superiority. We need to prioritize this peace through strength part, and that's what this One Big Beautiful Bill does. During the Biden administration, we had defense spending at an all-time low. We know that in times of our greatest peace, defense spending is about 5 to 6%. President Trump has not only agreed to do that for our country and for our military, but also he's encouraging our allies to do that, and we're seeing them get on board with that too. So I can't just emphasize enough the importance of prioritizing defense spending and what this big, beautiful bill does for that. You know, as Republicans and as veterans who care about how much money we have, we also want to make sure that we are not wasting money. And the programs, the reforms that we've put in place for Medicaid is important. We know that we want to keep that program for people who need it the most. We have plenty of veterans who are disabled, who are Medicaid recipients. I want to make sure that program is there for them. So the reforms we put in place are so important. But it's certainly a privilege to be able to represent, again, a district that has one of the largest veteran populations. These are great wins for the American public, great wins for the veteran community, and I'm very proud to be a part of this effort. Thank you so much.
Great job, Jen. Over the weekend in New York City, an off-duty Customs and Border Protection officer was shot in the face during an attempted robbery by two illegal aliens. These two criminals were allowed into our country by the Biden administration, where they both have gone on to commit multiple crimes. Assault, kidnapping, larceny, and now attempted murder make up their rap sheet. Senseless, dangerous sanctuary policies put these criminals back on the streets after their numerous arrests, enabling them to wreak havoc on innocent Americans. The damage done by the Biden administration's deliberate open border policies cannot be understated. We are still feeling the consequences of it today. But President Trump, DH Secretary Noem, and Border Czar Tom Homan are turning the tide. In my state of Minnesota, ICE arrests of illegal aliens have doubled since President Trump took office. And while the local worthless media in my home state tries to spin that as a bad thing, the brave men and women of ICE are getting the worst of the worst illegal aliens off the streets of Minnesota and America, restoring safety and security to our communities. As these officers enforce the laws, they face an 830% increase in assaults. To the ICE agents risking their lives to keep us all safe, thank you. To the Border Patrol agents and custom officers securing our border, thank you. The One Big Beautiful Bill supports their efforts by giving them the tools they need to continue this critical work, including more ICE officers, more Border Patrol agents, more border wall, and more detention space. These resources strengthen and make permanent the great success that President Trump has already had securing the border and deporting criminal illegal aliens. The One Big Beautiful Bill delivers historic border security wins. It delivers historic border security wins, and we're all safer for it. With that, the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Whip. Well, it's been a very busy first 6 months working with the Trump administration to deliver critical wins for hardworking families across America, to deliver wins on those issues that we all ran on, the things we said we would do if we got a Republican White House, Republican Senate, and Republican House. And of course, the One Big Beautiful Bill really is the epitome of so many of those victories, but that's not all we've done. The president has already signed or has on his desk 31 different bills that have been passed by the House and Senate on the desk of the president, almost all of which have been signed into law. After today, maybe all 31 will have been signed into law to continue delivering and getting our country back on track, reversing the damage that was done by Joe Biden in 4 years. What the Democrats did working with Joe Biden, not just to increase inflation, increase interest rates, to increase regulations and rules that stifled the ability for small businesses to grow. We've been working hard to reverse all of that. And while we are celebrating all of these wins, we are not tired of winning. And the American people aren't either. That's why this week we still have more bills on the House floor, but we also have a lot of work being done in our committees. The Appropriations Committee this week is taking up 3 more appropriations bills in full committee. Tom Cole and his members have been doing an incredible job of getting their bills out of committee. The House has already passed over 60% of all government funding over to the Senate. And this week we're going to see something that hasn't happened in years. The United States Senate is finally taking up a House appropriations bill. That should be something that's always going on in Congress, where you see the House and Senate doing their jobs together. But Chuck Schumer, for years, refused to participate in a normal appropriations process because he wanted shutdowns. He wanted chaos. It's one of the reasons the Democrats lost the Senate, is because the American people didn't want that dysfunction. And John Thune promised there would be a new day in the United States Senate, and Leader Thune is delivering on that. And one of those commitments he made is that we would have a normal working appropriations process, and they're actually doing that this week, moving the Milcon VA appropriations bill and continuing to move more of the bills that we're sending over from the House. And so as the American people see Washington working for them for a change, we're also going to be going during this district work period and explaining to the American people what's been in a lot of those bills, because the Democrats have been lying over and over and over again about tax cuts for billionaires. They're talking about hospitals closing. Everybody in America is going to die, according to every Democrat. And of course, when the American people look at what's in those bills, they're going, wait a minute. You know, the waiter and waitress in America who averages $32,000 a year is going to get about $1,700 more in their pockets. That's real money for working people.